Ladies and gentlemen, let me tell you something right now. You can get a man to buy you flowers, take you out, even post you on social media. But if you want a man to risk everything for you, to move mountains, to fight for you when things get tough, it ain't about beauty, it ain't about body, it's about belief. A man needs to feel that you believe in him when nobody else does. Men crave emotional validation more than material attraction. And that truth right there changes everything. You see, a man can be surrounded by attention, admiration, even love, but if he doesn't feel seen or valued, all of that means nothing. A man can buy himself the nicest clothes, drive the best car, eat at the fanciest restaurant, and still go home feeling empty, because what his soul needs isn't another compliment about how strong he looks or how much money he makes. It's that feeling that someone sees him, not his accomplishments. Men might not talk about it out loud, but deep down, they want to feel that their efforts matter, that their presence makes a difference. That's what emotional validation does. It reminds a man that he is not invisible. When a woman knows how to validate a man emotionally, she unlocks a part of him that no one else can reach. You don't have to throw yourself at him or prove your love every second. You just have to let him feel that his emotions, his struggles, and his dreams are safe with you. Most men have been raised to suppress their feelings, to hide their fears, to keep their arm on at all times. But when he finds a woman who doesn't make fun of his vulnerability, who doesn't turn his weakness into a weapon during arguments, he starts to trust her with his truth. That's when the connection gets real. That's when he starts thinking, this woman, she sees me. And that's the moment he starts risking everything for her, because she gave him something priceless: acceptance without judgment. Acceptance without judgment. Emotional validation ain't about babying him or inflating his ego. It's about being present when he's silent. It's about saying, I know you're trying, when life keeps knocking him down. When a man hears that from his woman, it hits different. It's like a recharge for his spirit. He doesn't feel like he's fighting the world alone anymore. He feels like he's got a teammate, a partner, a queen who believes in him even when he's not sure of himself. That belief becomes his fuel. It pushes him to work harder, love deeper, and give more. Because now it's not just about winning, it's about not letting her down. You see, a lot of men don't walk away from love because they stop caring. They walk away because they feel unappreciated, misunderstood, or emotionally ignored. But when you feed that man's heart with understanding, when you make space for his emotions instead of judging them, you make him feel alive again. You become the peace he's been searching for. And when a man finds peace in a woman, he'll go through fire to protect it. That's why emotional validation is more powerful than any physical attraction. Looks fade, chemistry cools, but the way you make a man feel, that stays with him forever. And when he feels truly valued, there's nothing he won't do to keep that feeling, to keep you. A woman's tone and timing make her words powerful. You see, it's not always what you say to a man that changes him. It's how and when you say it. Words carry energy, and when that energy comes with warmth, respect, and sincerity, it reaches straight to a man's soul. But when the tone is sharp, defensive, or cold, even the right words can push him away. Men might act tough, but truth is they listen more to how something is said than to the words themselves. When a man hears a harsh tone, he doesn't hear love, he hears criticism, he hears rejection. But when your voice carries calm and confidence, even tough truths can land gently. That's what separates a woman who argues to win from a woman who speaks to connect. Timing is just as important. You can't expect a man to open up when his mind is weighed down, when his day's been heavy, or when he's already deep in frustration. Sometimes you got to wait for that quiet moment, that stillness, when his guard drops a little. That's when your words will hit the deepest. If you choose your timing right, he'll hear you. If you rush it, he'll resist you. Men process things slower when it comes to emotions. They need space to think before they feel. A wise woman knows that silence can speak louder than pressure. She knows when to let him breathe and when to reach out. And when she finally does, her timing makes every word stick. You can tell a man, I love you 100 times, but if you say it when he feels small, defeated, or doubtful, it turns into healing. You can tell a man, I believe in you, but if you say it right after he's failed and the world's laughing at him, those words become a fire that reignites his spirit. That's the art of timing. It turns ordinary moments into life-changing ones. Steve Harvey once said, men don't hear your words, they feel your energy. And he's right. The energy behind your tone can either lift him up or tear him down. When a woman's tone is full of love and her timing is right, her words become medicine. She doesn't even have to shout or demand. Her softness becomes strength. Her calm becomes authority. Because a real man doesn't respond to pressure. He responds to peace. He'll do anything for a woman who talks to him in a way that makes him feel respected, not attacked. You can change how a man sees himself just by changing the sound of your voice. When you talk to him like he's capable, he becomes capable. When you talk to him like he's your man, not your project, he'll fight to live up to that image. So many relationships fail because the tone turns cold and the timing turns careless. But the woman who learns to control both, she owns the key to his heart. Because every man remembers the moment when her words reached him, not through his ears, but through his soul. And once that happens, he'll never forget her voice. Respect is the deepest language of a man's heart. You can tell a man you love him every single day, but if he doesn't feel respected, that love won't reach him. For a man, love without respect feels empty. It's not about ego or control. It's about identity. A man's sense of worth is tied to how he's seen by the woman he loves. When you speak to him with respect, you remind him that he matters, that he's capable, that he's the man he believes himself to be. But when a woman disrespects a man, whether through her words, tone, or attitude, it cuts deeper than most people realize. It's not just an insult. It's a wound to his pride, to his purpose, to the very thing that drives him. See, a man will work hard, sacrifice, and give everything to a woman who honors him with respect. He doesn't need her to agree with everything, but he needs her to believe that he's trying, that his effort means something. When she acknowledges that, she becomes his peace. Respect is not submission, it's recognition. It's saying, I see what you do, I value your effort, and I'm proud to stand beside you. That simple act builds a bond that no amount of money or attraction can replace. Because when a man feels respected, he feels like a king, and when he feels like a king, he treats his woman like a queen. Now, let's get something straight. Respect isn't just about saying yes to everything. It's about how you disagree. You can correct him, challenge him, even argue with him, but the way you do it makes all the difference. A man can take honesty. What he can't take is humiliation. When you embarrass a man, especially in public or in front of others, you break a part of him that's hard to rebuild. But when you pull him aside, speak to him privately, and tell him how you feel with grace, that's power. Because now you're not attacking him, you're communicating. And that kind of respect earns his loyalty, his trust, and his devotion. Respect also shows in the little things. It's in the way you say thank you, even for small gestures. It's in how you speak about him when he's not around. It's in defending his name when others try to tear him down. Men notice those things. They might not say it, but they remember it. That's how you separate yourself from every other woman he's known. You make him feel honored. You make him feel seen, not as what he lacks, but as what he brings. That's the foundation of lasting love. When a man feels respected, he doesn't just love harder, he becomes better. He becomes more responsible, more focused, more protective, because the woman who respects him gives him strength. She becomes his motivation, his reason to keep going when life gets tough. Respect builds the kind of bond that outlives beauty, outlasts passion, and outshines everything else. When you speak to a man with respect, you don't just win his attention. You win his heart, his loyalty, and his lifelong commitment. When a man feels safe with you, he'll do the impossible for you. Safety for a man doesn't mean protection from danger. It means protection from judgment, rejection, and emotional chaos. The world already demands that a man stay strong, silent, and in control. But inside, he's carrying battles you'll never see. When he finally finds a woman who gives him peace instead of pressure, who lets him exhale without fear, that's when he truly opens up. You see, men don't just fall in love with beauty or charm. They fall in love safety. When he knows that being himself won't cost him your respect, that his flaws won't make you run, he starts to trust you with parts of himself he hides from everyone else. That's when love stops being surface level. It becomes something sacred. A man can have everything, the money, the looks, the success, but if he doesn't have peace, he's still poor. And peace is what a real woman brings into his life. It's not about silence or pretending everything's fine. It's about creating an atmosphere where he doesn't have to wear armor all the time. A woman who gives safety doesn't always speak loud, but her presence is loud enough to calm him. She doesn't try to fix him because she knows that love isn't a repair job, it's a refuge. When a man feels that, he starts to give more, do more, and love harder. Because now he's not fighting against you, he's fighting for you. Every man has a version of himself that he doesn't show the world. The broken, tired, scared version. And if a woman can hold space for that man without tearing him down, she earns something far deeper than affection. She earns devotion. You'll notice he starts confiding in you more. He starts protecting you without you asking. He starts showing up in ways he never did before, because in his heart, he's thinking, she's my safe place. I can't lose her. And once a man feels that, he'll go through anything to keep you close. But that kind of safety doesn't come from perfection. It comes from patience. It's how you react when he fails. It's how you speak when he's struggling. It's how you listen when he finally lets his guard down. A lot of women think being strong means never letting a man see them soft. But strength isn't always loud. Sometimes it's in being calm when he's chaotic, gentle when he's angry, steady when he's lost. That's the kind of love that transforms a man. It gives him the confidence to face the world again, knowing he's got someone in his corner. When a man feels safe, he becomes his best self. He stops hiding behind pride, and he starts leading with purpose. He starts dreaming bigger because he knows he's not alone. And in return, he'll do the impossible to protect that peace you give him. Because to a man, a woman who makes him feel safe is not just his love, she's his home. Love doesn't control a man. It inspires him to rise higher. Real love doesn't try to cage a man or make him smaller. It lifts him, motivates him, and challenges him to become the best version of himself. When a woman loves a man in a way that fuels his spirit instead of limiting it, he feels free, but still deeply connected. Love that inspires doesn't say, do this for me. It says, I see what you can become, and I'm here to walk beside you. It's a partnership, not a power struggle. A man who feels inspired by his woman will naturally want to give her his best, not because she demands it, but because she draws it out of him. That's the kind of love that transforms lives. It builds empires, not prisons. You see, too many relationships fall apart because love turns into control. One person starts keeping score, starts setting conditions, starts trying to manage the other's growth instead of encouraging it. But love isn't ownership, it's inspiration. You can't force a man to be great, but you can remind him of the greatness already inside him. That's what real women do. They awaken something powerful in their man without ever needing to say much. Sometimes it's a simple look. Sometimes it's a quiet, I'm proud of you. That one sentence can shift a man's entire mindset, because when he knows his woman sees potential in him, he starts seeing it too. Inspiration in love means giving space, not suffocation. It means trusting him to lead while also letting him know you've got his back. When you encourage his goals, support his passions, and celebrate his wins, you give him strength to keep pushing. But when you constantly doubt him, question him, or compare him, it chips away at his drive. Men are wired to provide, to achieve, to protect. And when a woman stands beside him with belief instead of control, he rises naturally. That's the difference between pressure and inspiration. Pressure breaks him, inspiration builds him. And here's the thing, when a man feels inspired by love, he doesn't just grow for himself, he grows for you. He starts planning differently, thinking long-term, making better choices, because he wants to live up to the love he's been given. You'll notice his energy shifts. He's not dragging his feet, he's running toward his future. That's what happens when love motivates instead of manipulates. The right woman can make a man want to conquer the world, not because she forces him to, but because he wants to make her proud. The most powerful kind of love is the one that gives wings, not chains. It's the love that says, I trust you, I believe in you, and I'm with you no matter what. That kind of love turns ordinary men into leaders, dreamers, and fighters. When a man is inspired by his woman, he doesn't fear the challenges ahead. He faces them head on, because her belief, her encouragement, her faith in him, it becomes his fire. And when love inspires a man, there's nothing he won't do, no mountain he won't climb to honor the woman who gave him that strength. The 5 words are not magic, they are meaning. I believe in you, baby. Those words hold more power than any sweet talk, more depth than any grand gesture because they speak to the core of what every man needs: faith. When a man hears those words from a woman who truly means them, it does something inside him that no compliment or physical affection ever could. It tells him that even when the world doubts him, she doesn't. It tells him that even if he stumbles, she still sees the greatness in him. And when a man feels that, he becomes unstoppable. That belief becomes his engine, his motivation, his fire. It's not about flattery or feeding his ego. It's about awakening his purpose. When you say, "I believe in you, baby," it's not just the words, it's the tone, the eyes, the energy behind it. Men can tell when you saying to calm them versus when you truly mean it. And when it's real, it hits him deep. It's like his whole spirit straightens up. He starts walking taller, thinking clearer, and pushing harder, not because he wants to prove something, but because he wants to honor the belief you placed in him. You become the voice in his head when he's about to quit. You become the reason he keeps going when no one else understands why he's still fighting. Those 5 words are simple, but they carry the weight of trust, love, and partnership. A man's biggest fear isn't failure, it's disappointment. He don't want to let down the people who believe in him, especially the woman who stood by him when he didn't have it all together. That's why your belief means so much. It reminds him that he's not alone in the climb. It tells him that even if he falls, someone's waiting to help him stand again. That's what gives him courage to take risks, to try harder, to dream bigger. Because when a man feels supported by his woman, he starts seeing himself through her eyes, and that reflection becomes his strength. But those words can't just be spoken, they have to be living. Believing in a man means being patient when he's building, encouraging him when he's unsure, and trusting him even when the outcome isn't clear. It's easy to believe in a man when he's winning. The real test is when he's losing. When you still say, "I believe in you, baby," after he's fallen short. That's when those words become sacred. That's when he knows you're not just in love with what he does, but with who he is. That kind of belief can rebuild a broken man. Every man remembers the woman who believed in him when he didn't believe in himself. Those 5 words become his fuel, his prayer, his reminder of why he can't give up. He'll carry them through his battles, his victories, and his darkest nights. Because when you tell a man, "I believe in you, baby," you're not just speaking to his ears. You're speaking to his soul. And for that, he'll risk everything to keep you close. Because you gave him the one thing the world rarely does: unwavering faith.